Note for Memphis, this is the 8th different starting lineup on the year, 5 consecutive games. Malcolm Dandridge will get a start today, and Clarence Jackson, fresh off his first career start for Isaac Brown, gets a second nod. Isaac Brown now in his second year. He went from coach for a year as the interim head man weeks before last season began to coach of the year, winning the Americans regular season title and journeying to the NCAA tournament. And we are underway as Memphis has decided to go big, Jim.
They have, so that's one of the things they'll like to do is get the ball into the post initially if they can. I would anticipate they're going to try to get as many points in the paint as possible. And that's not how they wanted to start this game, looking to go to the post, and Duren with a little bit of a reach in just then.
Jalen Duren, the Americans' preseason freshman of the year, part of this highly heralded recruiting class. Jayden Hardaway, the #1 class in America for the second time in 3 years. Now, Alex Lomax is out for Memphis with an ankle injury. Joe Pleasant comes off the bench for Wichita State today, coming off a hamstring.
As good as Duren is in terms of blocking shots, I'd get active post-up play against him, maybe try to get 2 quick ones. Here you go right here, that's a travel out.
Udeze gives it away.
I don't dislike that play in terms of going to Udeze and really trying to get him the basketball down deep.
And Memphis off of a 1-point loss in the conference opener against Tulane. DeAndre Williams, their leading scorer. Dandridge wants it in the post, 10 to shoot. Timberlake on the drive, cuts cup, and the first points belong to the Tigers.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the key things in terms of going after that glass, making sure the offense are either hitting the post with a direct pass or putting it on the floor and driving it towards the basket to make Wichita State really come after you.
High kiss miss by Porter, primary point man. He did not play last time out. An ankle injury, his first action since December 18th. Entry denied partially by Udeze. Rejection on a double team. Went right off the face of Clarence Jackson, won by the Shockers.
Yeah, Jackson didn't see that one coming. Nice squeeze defensively, though, to really close down the offensive opportunity in the paint. Good step across here to steal.
Both of these teams can defend and have length out of the corner. Quinones, the hesitant three.
That's a little push coming towards the basket. Dandridge doing a good job down at one end of the floor, but then pushing, going over the top. So here's the action down low. A lot of swinging arms, but you're absolutely right. Jackson catches that one right in the face. Both guys missing the body and getting on hands on the basketball. Unfortunately, Jackson didn't have enough time to react.
These are 2 of the best shot-blocking teams in the country. Porter opposite Dennis.
Good reactions to the perimeter so far.
Jackson on the end line, gets past Dandridge, bucket good and one.
Well, interesting enough with Jackson getting that start, John, that you mentioned. A lot of times when he comes off the bench, he really gives them great energy. And watch this play right here. Is this energy in the bottle, and he finishes it off switching to his left hand. A lot of different moves and motions in that one drive, but he gives them a lot of pickup at both ends of the floor.
Now that foul is the second on Dandridge. So he goes to the bench, fresh off his first start since January of 2020. Last time out, he got the nod today, and Landers Nolley II, who's 35 points shy of 1,000, subs in off the bench. He was the most outstanding player when Memphis won the NIT last year.
Yeah, one of the things that Penny Hardaway referenced with their game the other night with 3 players not playing for them, giving up 33 points in their loss to Tulane, was that the depth would be a blessing for them. So they had guys who played a lot of minutes who normally would not. As you see Wichita State coming with a 1-2-2 look, just to slow down Memphis, make them think a little bit.
Memphis likes to play with pace. 20th in the country in possessions per game per KenPom. Williams feeds the cutting Nolley immediately into the fray. Miss it. Oh, what a follow by Duren.
Well, if you challenge the beginning and then run it at middle of the paint, you'll get some action on the offensive glass. Duren with a beautiful tip, follow-up, and the dunk.
Jackson denied off the bounce. Porter, who runs point.
Good hands again.
Knocked out of bounds, 15 to shoot.
Well, 6'11", he really positions himself well. It's one thing to have size and strength down there, but he understands very well, Duren does, in terms of being able to position himself and watch where the shots are coming from.
First look for Etienne is off. Udeze able to clean, separate, and one again.
Udeze that time did the same exact thing that Duren did down the other end of the floor, John, just really looking for spots. Where are the openings on the floor? He found himself right in the middle, gets a pretty good bounce also, but the strength again for him taking over at 6'8", 245, putting a little muscle on people.
And so another trip to the stripe for the Shockers. Memphis on the year gets to the line a ton, but that doesn't travel in college basketball all that well. And the Tigers 0-3 in road action on the year. Udeze became a much better free throw shooter, thanks in part to COVID. The downtime gave him opportunity in the gym to practice. He was a 46% shooter his first 2 seasons. He's at 73% this year.
And playing well, too, coming off a 16-point game and 7 straight games of 10 points or more, so he's really getting into the flow of the offense. And once again, another look at this 1-2-2, looking for a possible trap. But it takes 5 seconds once you get past half court, John, to really get a feel for what defense you're going up against.
Jayden Hardaway gets the bucket to go, coming off his best game as a Tiger. Dropped 14 on Wednesday.
And with 4 threes also.
Etienne given sideline, guarded by Timberlake. No Lomax from Memphis. Porter on the crossover, sails it out of bounds. Now Memphis still without Emoni Bates. You can see a splint on his fingers on his shooting right hand. Apparently an infection has arrived there.
They're giving up 11 points a game, too. From his perspective, a talented player.
He was once dubbed the next great player in pro basketball on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the names of Magic, Michael, LeBron, and Bates.
Never heard of any of those guys.
And Duren showing a pretty smooth J there.
Yeah, he really has developed that little free throw jumper.
Jackson takes the 3. And a one and done. Nolley the rebound. Dangerous pass up the sideline and a foul. Well, unfortunately this week, 8-6, Memphis leads Wichita State. Wu Shock enjoying the scene. Last year, Wichita State was the preseason number 7 pick in the American and went on to win the regular season title and make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they had a terrific run last year, and obviously the coach of their team, Isaac Brown, really focuses on the defensive end of the floor. You know, when he talks about his team intensity of play, rebounding, the keys to playing really good, solid basketball. When you think about it, 6 times this year they've held their opponent under 60 points a game. That's pretty decent defense.
Duren falling away over the subbed-in Kenny Poto. Joe Pleasant also now on the floor for Wichita State.
We've seen 2 looks by Duren already from about 12 feet away with a nice soft jump shot.
Poto from deep, off target, tapped out of bounds. Last touch to Quay Grant.
So a little set coming across. They set him up down low with the catch, and then all of a sudden he drifts away just a little bit to get away from Poto, who at 6'11" will block some shots at his end of the floor also.
And instead it's Grant on the crossover look up top into the corner. Ricky Council, the 4, knocks it down. He had been in a real funk, just one of his last 12 from deep.
Yeah, that's a difficult shot also, to be able to move away from the basket. You're bringing your momentum away to get to that 3-point line. In the old days, you would have just taken a little mid-range 15-footer, but they back it out to 3 now.
Snaps a 6-0 spurt by Memphis. Now Grain of the lane turnover.
Good balance, though, defensively by Memphis. That's trip.
Corner look, Quay Grant snaps the draw.
Just at about 30% on the year, but that's how they like to come down the floor. Get it down in transition off their defense. Memphis got back to the middle of the floor fairly well that trip, but not to the perimeter.
DeAndre Williams, 3-point response.
Nice little rhythm here now all of a sudden at the offensive end for both teams.
Williams, a 46% shooter His first couple of years had been at just 20 this year. The new year has arrived. Poto, offensive foul.
Yeah, see, he was setting himself up for a little bit of a jump hook. Poto loves to come to the middle of the lane. Well defended, though. But Wichita State looking to push the action. Here's the step away and the flip. Nice long-range shooting.
Aggressive drive right down the lane. Earl Timberlake. Chance for an and one.
Another guy who's taking advantage of his minutes with Memphis, Timberlake. Good, strong drive. Poto, you see number 11 in white. Not sure what to do. Was there going to be a kick out? Was he going to toss it to the left corner, or was he going to drive it all the way? Poto kind of locked. Nice recovery there offensively by Timberlake, coming off 14 points in his last outing against Tulane.
Poto, 2 fouls, goes to the bench. Timberlake transfer from Miami, converts on the and one.
It's always one of the big concerns for every team, but especially Wichita State with their bigs. Speaking of bigs, I just looked across at Penny Hardaway over there and said, that guy's pretty big standing over there. Oh, it's Penny. That's why he's a big guy.
And an offensive foul. That's a point of emphasis this year, using the arm bar to create space. That's on Tyson Etienne.
So you're right on the money. But you see the little of the hands. There's the push off. It's a good call going the other way. But I think that's when you think about this game coming in, John. We talked about it off air before the game. The intensity level that would be here with the crowd. How will Memphis react to it? And both teams coming out pretty strong from an aggressive standpoint.
Grant.
Good recovery out there by Pleasant.
Pops the 3 off. Pleasant can't win the free ball. Timberlake's got it. Nolley using Duren as a shield. Floats it home.
Well, he sure did. But Nolley coming down the floor, really uncontested until the last second just then. I love that little stop jump hook. You don't see that too often. It's generally a regular looking shot, but that was kind of a half push shot. Well done and executed.
8 unanswered for Memphis in less than a minute and a half. Etienne floats it up. It gets hit. Tyson Etienne, the co-player of the year in the American last season, but his worst game came against Memphis.
Not shooting the ball very, very well from the outside, so he's kind of mixing it up in terms of blending his game. We saw him go to the basket that trip just then. When you start to shoot the ball a little bit better from the outside, scouting reports say, okay, let's start to lean out there a little bit, but he's adjusted and has really put the ball on the floor nicely.
This is the first Wednesday. The race is on. The Amazing Race returns with all new teams racing around the world to win $1 million. Join host Phil Kogan for the season premiere of The Amazing Race, Wednesday, 8, 7 Central on CBS. Etienne, a 77% shooter. Converts on the back end, snaps an 8 unanswered run by Memphis.
Great rotation on his shot when he shoots the basketball. You can see it on those free throws with the one miss, but the second one being the make. Harris on the floor for Memphis. He's a shooter from long range. Nice step in, though.
That's what Quay Grant did for years in Division II, and the Euro finish.
Well, he barely could pick the ball up. It was a terrific steal in the backcourt. Had trouble with a little bit of a fumble trying to get the rhythm on it, but a nice delivery at the very end to kind of gather himself up.
Duren was dominant early. Minott on the drive, off. Duren tips it loose. Won by Williams. Up fake, floater. Duren, drop step, trying to muscle over a double. Rattles down, and one.
Well, you notice that little lob down there. They figure with Duren, they could just kind of flip it up somewhere. Watch this, flip it up, let him go get it, and then he goes to work down low. Wow, that's just a strong inside post presence just then to use his body, getting enough separation to be able to finish that one off.
Now they gave the foul here to Etienne as his second. He disagrees. He was the backside help defender with Udeze, but he did seem to have more contact.
Yeah, I think your choice there is bad either way you look at it, whichever player they give it to.
And it looks like they're changing the foul to Udeze. They recorded it originally as Tyson Etienne with his second. Now Duren to shoot free throws. Only a 59% shooter, misses. Council has the board. Quay Grant was dominant at Division II West Texas A&M. Dropped 40 in an NCAA tournament game.
Yeah, terrific handle out front. Strong, powerful when he drives it. Here we go.
Muscling inside. Blocking foul. Tyler Harris.
Yeah, right on cue with Grant, using that little strength move. 6'1", 195. Bouncing a little bit. Isaac Brown just happy with the way his team is playing from an aggressive standpoint. Wants him to get a little bit more efficient at the offensive end of the floor, where they've struggled a bit.
Etienne subs away. Isaac Brown was very concise when you had asked him some of the keys for this game.
Yeah, it sure was. And, you know, they stick to the basics in terms of what he's looking to do. You know, show the hands defensively, no turnovers. There's one right there on bad cue.
Minott, pretty move down the lane.
Another one of the youngsters with a tremendous amount of talent. You watch Minott right here. Watch the big step through and little scoop shot to get it through on the squeeze.
Jalen Duren has been dominant.
He really has been a terrific start coming off that follow-up with the dunk, and then he turns into a 15-foot, 12-foot jump shooter. The post, the strength, the size. I really love the way he collects himself and doesn't get into a panic mode down low also. And you look at the numbers, 8 points, 4 or 5, pretty good. And earlier in the year, he had a 5-block game and put up 22 points and 19 rebounds versus Western Kentucky. That's like a month for some guys.
And here he is today, closing in on his per-game scoring average. His physicality so impressive. Minott ready for an and one free throw. Jim, it's a 12-3 run for Memphis. From down a deuce to here up 7. One of the main matchups we were looking at was rebounding. Offensive for Memphis, defensive for Wichita State. It's been nullified by the shooting of the Tigers.
Exactly. But as this goes on, the aggressiveness at the defensive end, the shot selections might be tapered a little bit. So rebounding on the offensive end in particular for Memphis is going to be key.
Surprisingly, Etienne remains on the bench with 1 foul. He plays a lot of minutes. Nice up fake. And a foul comes on the follow. That's going to be the second on Duren.
Yeah, getting into the traffic, Wichita State doing a very good job of that in terms of making sure they just don't settle for the outside shot, blend it up a little bit in terms of going to the basket. Get an 81% free throw shooter at the line, guy who can stick to 3, and Dennis.
Misses on the first. Wednesday, watch the premiere of CBS's new family medical drama, Good Sam, starring Sophia Bush and Jason Isaacs. Good Sam, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Back end is good for Dennis. So Duren, who has been the force, now with 2 fouls, is he done for the half?
Well, you know, that's a good question with 11:27, possibly. You know, you have to just really, you know, with the lead, you can keep them on the bench for a while. Depends on how they play. They start giving the basketball up. They do not want Wichita State to get to a little bit of a running game with them also. Good luck.
Council wide open, rims out. DeAndre Williams wins it. Turnovers have piled up. 6 giveaways for the Shockers, 4 for Memphis. Minott denied by Council, and he sticks it.
Smart stop there by Minott, too, with the defender falling on the ground. I don't know if he would have been able to get to the basket if he kept going without worrying about who was laying down on the floor in front of him.
Deze's been quiet. Screens for Dennis, sees the double. Leaning out of it. Oh, what a pass to Grant. Can't finish. And on the tumble, Quinones, and a foul comes.
Yeah, that's going to be an automatic foul, actually. John, when there's a loose ball by rule, you can go down and go after it, but you just can't jump on somebody's body to go get it. So let's see. The ball gets loose. Ball goes down, no possession. You just can't jump on somebody to go after the ball.
Did he have possession for steps there?
I don't think he did, because when you're going down, let's see, does he have the ball? I don't think he does. No, I don't think he has the ball enough. It's kind of clamped in there against Minott's body also. I think that's a good call.
So Grant out, Porter back, who's their primary point man of the year, and Etienne is returned. Williams out for Memphis. And Dandridge is back with 2 fouls. Isaac Brown spent 20 years as an assistant coach, given an interim chance at Wichita State, took them to the big dance and won the job outright.
You asked me about Duren a minute or two ago. He's the only guy standing up on the bench with Penny. Maybe getting Penny to think, put me back in the game. I think Penny's going to wait a little bit on that one.
I think you can feel that presence.
Yeah, especially with this lead.
Porter, the probing dribble. Dennis wide open, splash it down.
Yeah, that's what they look for. You know, you touched on Porter coming into the game. He has a calming presence on this team at the offensive end. This guy can shoot it, Harris, from long range.
Rainbow miss, Minott the follow, and gets it to go. He has been impressive.
Yeah, he had 8 points his last game out, taking advantage against Tulane of the extra minutes. He keeps playing like the way he is. You're going to have to keep him on the floor a little bit extra.
Porter, Udeze, Dandridge overplayed despite 2 fouls. Touch pass Dennis, stride inside.
Good no shot there.
Porter with that little fake. And a one and done. Timberlake snaps it off, read well.
Usually an opening.
Minott. Dennis the rebound.
Yeah, those almost steals generally end up being a good open shot when you don't get them because you're out of position. Generally a second guy's also.
Jackson in rhythm off Udeze, double down low, off Memphis, Wichita State ball.
So Wichita State, here's Porter, really difficult pass to get it through the lane to Dennis, who knocks it back from long range, just under 30%, but he's a much better shooter than his numbers indicate. You saw that good look at the rotation.
Had a couple of makes last time out, something Isaac Brown highlighted after the game.
Trying to run some screens for Etienne.
The spin, a couple of up fakes, draws the foul.
Dandridge a little late getting in there too.
That's going to be his 3rd. Wow.
And that's just a mistake because you had him clamped out defensively, ball fakes, you have 2 fouls on you.
They gave it to Hardaway.
Hardaway with the bump beforehand, yep. And
so it's
not
his
that
first.
Hardaway's, but the son of Penny.
Well, early in this game, Memphis is shooting 60% from the field. Tomorrow, a new year, and that means a new episode of The Equalizer. Queen Latifah returns in the show that critics are calling fresh and reinvigorating. Don't miss The Equalizer tomorrow on CBS.
I like this changing defense, too, the Shockers. Just throw something different. All the different lineups that Memphis has utilized, make them think about what they want to really try to accomplish. And you get a little deflection, and now you go 3-on-2.
Porter feeds Etienne, transition air ball.
Give it up, you get a layup.
Quinones with Porter trailing, dunks it home.
Just a bad shot coming down on a 3-on-2 break. Etienne knew it. He went down the other end defensively. He's tapping himself on the chest, saying that's my mistake, bad shot. I think you get a layup in that situation if you run towards the basket rather than the 3 on the previous trip down.
Jackson comes to a stop.
That was a great stop, too, wasn't it? His body was carrying him into the middle of the lane. He held that right foot down for the pivot foot. I like to continue to keep Memphis thinking about what defense you're going to play. So man-to-man, looks like a zone when you're coming down the floor. That's exactly what you want to do.
Quinones spin, shoot, miss. Porter's got it. Oh, nice diagonal give. Etienne trying to spring to life.
Yep, better decision, too. Penny Hardaway in Memphis. Good start making things happen at the offensive end, especially going after it and getting some transition opportunities based on their defensive effort.
Our game summary, the paint has been owned by the Tigers.
Absolutely, just going to work and doing their job on the road in particular, making sure, you know, if they take good shots, they're on the paint. If they take bad shots and miss them, they're on the paint. So they're continually driving. Very good offensive rebounding team in this league, and defensively, Wichita State is usually a very good rebounding team at the defensive end.
Penny Hardaway's team looking for its first road win, looking for its first conference win. Memphis is led by as many as 10. Shockers, though, will have a big window. We have still almost 8 minutes to go in the half. 9 fouls on Memphis already. Tiger team that leads the country in free throw attempts per game.
Here's a guy who's a pretty good free throw shooter at 77%. From the line.
He has had struggles against Memphis in his career, particularly last season. Quick release three, a little flat but true for Landers Nolley.
How about the adjustment too by Memphis just then? They put Harris at 5'9" in the middle of the floor. Terrific decision by Penny Hardaway coming out to make an adjustment on the fly against that 2-2-1 trapping defense for Wichita State.
Porter from the top of the key, curls all the way to the cup.
Yeah, and really tucks that ball in to protect it from the shot block attempt from Williams just then. You're going to see, because of that fouls that you just mentioned, John, I would anticipate the Shockers to go into the paint, either drive or push it in for the post.
Memphis spreading the floor here.
Yeah, watch Harris, he can shoot it. Those lob passes don't get it done though.
Given the three, take and make, DeAndre Williams.
Yeah, a little bit of everything in his game. You're not going to come out and guard him. He'll take that three-point shot. Not a great percentage at all, because he hesitated just a touch. Good deflection by Timberlake.
And it feels like the pace is slow, just a touch. Minott to sub in for Memphis. Wichita State counters with Council.
Yeah, the extra fouls have slowed it down. Wichita State with 7-9 for Memphis, as you touched on. Kind of puts the brakes on a game.
A difficult entry point here for Porter. And they're going to get Timberlake before entry. So he's got 2, Timberlake with 2, Dandridge with 2, Duren with 2 for Memphis. And it's 10 on the Tigers, so double bonus for Etienne.
With a 10-point lead, you can stretch your bench a little bit further if you have to in terms of keeping those guys on the bench when you need to.
Tuesday night over on CBS Sports Network. Get ready for a Big East showdown. Number 15 seed Hall takes on Butler at 8 Eastern. Etienne, who shared Player of the Year honors with Quentin Grimes of Houston in the American last year, converts. Isaac Brown says extend pressure, get right on the ball handler in Timberlake.
Yeah, look for the deflections by the Shockers. They're very good. Their hand activity, footwork, generally good. Watch out, nice defensive effort. Shut down the lob.
Timberlake right to the basket, undercut, offensive foul. That'll be a third on the man who's filling in as their primary point with Lomax injured today.
Yeah, when you have 2 fouls like that prior to that play in Timberlake, you have to make a better judgment than that. Watch as the defender, the ball comes out. You can see the defender. You're 14 feet away. You have to be able to recognize that, John, and pull up from about 3 feet away from the defender. You just can't take a risk floating to the basket. But he's got to help out here to get it in.
And a 5-second violation, a turnover. They did not inbound in time.
After the violation just then in the charge, you can't run the baseline, so that takes any movement away from the passer in terms of getting the angles to get your guys open. The guys on the floor have to make it easier for the guy passing. Good cut.
Easy layup. Tyler Harris fed by Hardaway.
That was just a delay cut by Harris. He floats around the outside. Big lane opens up. Well-timed and good delivery to get that done. Well, can't do that with a push. The fans are going to get on that call just then. Or no call by Nolley.
See the foul concern for the Tigers. Porter, no look. Double comes. Udeze trying to chin and create space. Tied up for a jump ball. Arrow favors the Shockers.
Yeah, Porter gave him that ball. The thought process wasn't bad, but gave it to him down like by his calves. Couldn't come up with it. By the time he did, it was just way too late.
9 to shoot. Etienne given a one-on-one. Elbow J on the way. Smooth.
Yeah, that's it. That's smooth because it was just instinctive basketball just then, right? That one dribble, not thinking about his shot. Remember, he came down in transition and shot an air ball from 3.
Harris, that's a high difficulty shot. Porter running with Wichita State. They have numbers.
Watch Dennis. Nice move by Dennis. Get his body ahead of the ball for that opportunity to get to the line.
That's going to be 2 on Hardaway, so now 4 Tigers with 2 or more fouls. And there's a lot of time with double bonus the rest of the way for Wichita State.
That's why it's smart. You know, Dennis can shoot that ball from the 3-point line, but I like to pitch up ahead and forcing the action, get to the basket as much as possible, take advantage of that foul problem for Memphis.
When Dennis grew up, he learned basketball as a lefty. But he had a wrist injury and 2 surgeries. When he was in 8th grade, he tried to dunk, broke his arm, dislocated his wrist, learned to shoot and handle righty, and that has since felt more natural.
Did you say the 8th grade?
Yes. Yep.
That wasn't in the cards for me. The 8th grade, huh? Okay.
We'll see if he has a chance to elevate in this game at some point. Screen for Harris. Nolley.
Stay with Nolley. Good player, good shooter. Oh, watch out!
Oh, no!
Boy, you talk about giving them a lift off the bench. A guy who's normally a bench player might not get some almost like starter minutes right now.
He has really filled the role that Duren enjoyed at the game's start before his own foul was.
Yeah, so if you're standing over your Penny Hardaway, how do you just 4 for 7 minor? How do you take him out of the game as they come up with another strip? You don't. You leave him on the floor, maybe call his number out.
Harris from deep, stride closer.
Good effort by Dennis. Just couldn't get it. Watch the seam open up. Wow. Whew. You could tell he was thinking dunk at about 10, 12 feet away.
Well, owning the paint was a point of emphasis for Penny Hardaway after his team allowed 42 points in the paint in their league opening loss to Tulane on Wednesday. Nolley.
Good hands there, too, by Dennis with the block and the deflection on the shot. Up for grabs. Get rid of it.
Counsel from his backside to Pleasant, slapped out of bounds by Harris. The Tigers are flying.
That had the makings of a broken, sensational play just then, but it was broken up defensively. Isaac Brown just shaking his head in terms of what's going on offensively with the mishandles. Watch out.
And a foul on Quinones. That's going to be his second. All of these pull-away moments for Memphis, fouls have followed, and the Shockers have had points at the line.
Well, there's a hand initially. You know, you put the hand on initially, you're going to get called from the official who's outside looking in on that particular call. And it puts him back at the free throw line for attempts 7 and 8.
And it does make you wonder, forecasting in the second half, the foul trouble is mounting so dramatically that this could have a ripple effect in the second.
Oh, it's definitely going to have a ripple effect. You may get some time.
Don't worry, I'm still not dunking, no matter what grade it is.
No, but you're absolutely right. How do you jockey your way through the first half for starters? Look at those numbers just mounting up. It's kind of like one of those, who doesn't have 2 fouls on your team?
And Wichita State has more free throw makes 11 than field goal makes 9. Memphis spreading the floor so well.
They're really aggressively out challenging the perimeter. Watch for a backdoor cut off this. It usually opens up. Little high screen.
Williams knocked away by Grant. No possession exchange. Corner, hesitant three. Off the heel. Weak side one by Memphis. Double team swallows up Nolley.
That's good defensive effort too with the double.
And a 5-second violation.
That's a great defensive effort. The hands never came swinging down on that play defensively.
The defense gets it done, but Memphis has owned the day thus far. Minott, Happy New Year. Isaac Brown and Wichita State pride themselves on defense. A dissertation on defense offered before the timeout.
Yeah, John, here's a perfect example of how the baseline can also help you. There's no place to go towards the baseline, and the key right now is to make sure, even though right now Dennis uses his hands just a little bit too much right here and reaches in, could have probably been called for a foul there, but now watch how the baseline comes into play, and also you don't start reaching as much and swinging for the ball. That keeps the eyes of the officials on the ball and not on your hands defensively.
Etienne on the bench for Wichita State. One field goal make for the reigning player of the year in the American.
There's a backdoor cut.
Dennis finishes.
You were looking for Dennis to get off the floor. He was thinking about getting off the floor there at the very end. Memphis players stepped in his path.
Shockers have made their last 4 from the floor, from down 10 to within 6.
One of the things Penny Hardaway wanted to try to do is get his team up to 20 assists for a game. They have 9 now, so offensively they've been playing much better.
Williams to Minott, who has been living in the lane. Chance at a three-point play.
Beautiful look by Williams also. There was some nice activity just then for Memphis at the offensive end of the floor. Good look down low, good cut to the basket, the timing perfect. Boy, and Minott just continues to find good action in the middle of the floor. As I mentioned, Williams with a nice dish. It's number 10 on the team assists, so on pace to get to 20 if they can continue for Penny Hardaway and company.
Remember, for Memphis, no Emoni Bates with a finger injury, no Alex Lomax with an ankle injury. Yeah. And Duren on the bench with foul trouble.
Yeah, and you would think with not having Lomax out there, that would have caused a couple of problems with the chemistry on the offensive end, but they're playing through it nicely with those 10 assists, as I mentioned.
Here's Quay Grant, who had 8 assists, no turnovers in extended play on Wednesday. Council. Off target.
Remember, we touched on the Memphis foul problems that they have. The fall-away jumpers and mid-range jumpers don't get it done, as far as I'm concerned. Drive it to the basket. Take advantage of that. That's a tough pass and a nice deflection, too, by Porter.
Slow to get up is Hardaway. It's 5-on-4. No look.
Yeah, he's limping to get back. He just crossed half court. Now let's see if he gets a layup. Well, you can usually run faster at the offensive end, but just a little too long.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam, Wally, and Seth will get you caught up on a busy day in college basketball and preview game 2 of our triple header. Number 22 Villanova at 15th ranked Seton Hall. Head your way on AT&T at the half. We'll pause 30 seconds. We'll be back in Wichita. Penny Hardaway, after a loss at Ole Miss in early December, told The Athletic, "We have so much negativity in our locker room with veterans being jealous." That was during the downward spiral. What have you seen today?
I think I've seen good play at the offensive end and defensively, by the way. So both ends of the floor playing well, and they're playing together as a team. That was one of the issues that they had. The kind of unwelcoming kind of atmosphere from the seasoned veterans and the young guys on this team. There wasn't a good blend early.
Grant, 3-ball off. And a foul, looking for that loose ball. Looks like Udeze with his second. So that's 9 on the Shockers. This will be the last of the 1-and-1s this half, and then double bonus for both teams rest of the way.
And it's been a mixed bag talking about that, John, that we just spoke about with Penny and the chemistry of this team. Defensively, they have had some problems getting it together. They got a pretty good guy on that bench as an assistant coach, and Larry Brown has been a big help for them. But the offensive end is starting to click a little bit better. They played well against Alabama with that win against number 6 Bama.
That was when Williams really shined. That was his best game. Dese on the bench with 2. Pleasant has taken his spot.
Yep, smart to get him on the bench for the last 2 and change.
Williams had 20 points and 6 assists in that win against Alabama. Memphis is first against a top 10 team since 2014.
How about the luxury of playing with a lead as Memphis has? He touched on Duren, freshman, sensational player who's been on the bench, been able to cover him up and leave him there until the start of the second half.
Memphis has led for over 15 minutes. This the largest lead the Tigers have enjoyed today. Dennis, good closeout by Williams, slips past him. Minott on help, altered the shot. Pleasant knocks it out of bounds.
That's a good call too. Pleasant pushing it out, and they're right on Minott. He was a factor defensively with his length. Didn't get a hand on the ball, but at 6'8", he is long.
And there's the foul concern on each side. So both Udeze and Poto, who have size for an undersized Wichita State team.
Yeah, that's always a problem when your 2 bigs. A real miscommunication on the left side just then, but when your 2 bigs pick up fouls, they don't have anybody to go to as a 3rd center.
Now for Wichita State, Etienne has been a late bloomer throughout his career. He has been excellent in second halves, and they have faced some gaudy deficits that they have overcome multiple times this year. Pleasant screens, Etienne double. Dennis pops the 3 off the heel, won by Nolley. Nolley floats it up, rattles down.
I love the composure coming down the floor, playing with the lead right now for Memphis. That was an opportunity where I thought they were going to try to force the action a little bit quicker, but then Harris puts the brakes on it a little bit and lets his teammate go to work.
7 unanswered by Memphis. Creative wizardry by Grant. And Porter inadvertently coughs it up. Williams stride ahead of the field. 2 hands there.
And how about that right at the 3-point line, John, the way he got his shoulders in front of the defender. It became a foot race from about 15 feet away at that point. There's no way you're getting out in front of him. Smart play there by Williams. This defensive effort, talk about Wichita State's defense on the year, but Memphis is playing as good a defensive effort as they have all season.
Etienne in and out. The entire Memphis bench is standing. This has been demoralizing.
Yeah, last shot right now.
Timeout called by Memphis. So they call the use it or lose it. We'll step away. Tiger ball after the Memphis call timeout. What does Penny Hardaway draw up?
I like to think with the last shot that they get with 10.5 seconds, they're going to take a shot with 3 seconds left. Now, if I'm Wichita State, I'm going to try to maybe sneak a double team in there to rattle them a little bit. But keep an eye on Harris, who's going to most likely handle the basketball here, get to the middle of the floor.
Hardaway finds DeAndre Williams, bumped by Pleasant, shot off 5 seconds. Grant snaps it forward, Etienne 2 seconds. Etienne near the horn. And the half closes with a 9-0 run for Memphis. That's the end of the first half. Your score, the Memphis Tigers 49, the Wichita State Shockers 34. Now let's send you over to Adam Zucker in our New York City studios. And the stats certainly bear that out. Field goal percentage nearly 60% for Memphis. First half stats brought to you by Sonic.
Yeah, just shutting people down. The turnover number for Penny Hardaway, probably the only thing he's not going to be happy with, but everything else, the 10 assists in particular and points in the paint are very, very good in terms of where they stand. You talk about young players, Minott really stepping up and taking advantage of his minutes on the offensive glass, the points in the paint. He's been a factor. Here's a big-time slash to the basket. They've been cutting very nicely, in particular, a couple of teammates, but him in particular, Minott getting things to go. He'll sit on the bench to start things off, John, but I think he's going to see some time in his second half.
A strong chance, only 1 point off his career high. For Isaac Brown, we heard Wally in studio talk about bringing pressure to the perimeter. Is that necessary?
Yeah, I was just going to say and echo what Wally said, because this crowd here is generally very, very good. They have to do something to get them into this game, because quite candidly, a couple of plays here and there, nice backdoor cut to start things off. Good call by Penny Hardaway to really take away that pressure defense that he anticipated that Wally was speaking about.
That's an 11-0 run for Memphis going back to the end of the first half.
You know, sometimes you look at teams, you say, which team looks collectively as 5 guys on the floor like they're playing with confidence? And it's very clear, especially the way Memphis came out in their first offensive set, that they look collectively positive and confident. Wichita State, not so much.
Timberlake, no look to Duren, who smashes Udeze, and a whistle.
That's going to be before the play and shot. Chattering right now. The frustration, especially when you're a team getting smacked around in your home floor.
That's the third on Udeze.
Be real careful with him right now. I'd go to the bench. Yep. Comes Poto. That's a good call. Get him off the floor for a couple of reasons. Number one, third foul. Number two is the fact they're just banging one another and chattering and talking to one another. You don't want to get him overexcited and pick up a needless foul.
DeAndre Williams had no prayer there.
Yeah, steal of Poto.
Poto was only on the floor for a moment. Had his own foul issues. Duren can't handle.
I think Duren didn't see the ball coming in time, but that's one that he has to catch. That was up around shoulder height.
Duren was the force early at 8 points in 8 minutes. Sat the rest of the way after his second foul. Dexter Dennis, aggressive take, gets hit and fouled.
At the offensive end, you have to believe that Wichita State is going to do what Dennis just did. Make sure they turn this into a short shooting game. Get to the paint area, get to the line as much as they possibly can.
And that foul on DeAndre Williams is his first. Dexter Dennis, 9 points to lead Wichita State in the first. 4 of those came at the line. And he converts on the first.
11 of 16 from the free throw line for Isaac Brown's team. If they're going to get to the line, they better make sure they're making them. Get back into this game.
They hit them both.
Little full court action right now. Kind of token, making sure that that's up for grabs. That's a lob pass across the court.
Dennis, the Euro, can't finish. DeAndre Williams had it, coughs it up. Porter out of bounds. And it's up for Memphis. Quinones out, Nolley in.
Yeah, there's that cross-court path that has a little air underneath it. The big step by and just could not react because of that step towards the baseline. Couldn't get his angle to get that up off the glass. But I like the defensive effort. Make Memphis think about what you're going to do. Switch it up a little bit. There's a double team at half court. Duren back into the middle of the lane area.
Remember, Timberlake plays with 3 fouls, all from the first half. Williams, 9 to shoot. Dandridge wants it in the lane, so does Duren.
That's a matchup that they're just picking apart. Wichita State, known for their defense, not that time at all. They were lost. 2 guys out in the perimeter were lost, and Memphis just picked it apart with some high-low action.
Jackson, the hesitant 3, off. DeAndre Williams has it.
When you're playing with a big league like Memphis is right now, you will let a team shoot the ball from the outside with Wichita State.
Andrews muscling. Tip by Memphis, won by Jackson.
Wichita State shooting team-wise 31%. Why not condense the floor, pack it in if you're Memphis, force this action away, and let them shoot their way back in. Make them make 2 or 3 threes to get back in it.
Porter wins the loose ball.
Good effort by Duren.
Ono for 3, short. Dennis tip, friendly fire, tracked down by Jackson. Ono, taken away, DeAndre Williams.
Wow. Is he crafty with the ball, isn't he?
Poetry in motion and such confidence, bordering on swagger from Memphis. They are dominant right now.
Yeah, and it's not lack of effort going after the loose ball by Wichita State, but just a couple of little twists and turns and bounces from Memphis. Nice step in there. Wichita State probably needs to talk things over if this goes in. I would think they're going to call a timeout. Yeah, there it is. You could just sense that one coming. Fans are grousing too.
This is an 18-2 run going back to the end of the first half.
There's the effort by both of them, but Williams, watch how crafty he is with the ball, shaking and moving it away from the blocks.
Now let's take a look at our fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
So when you're playing against a good defensive team, you have to be patient. There's one in the first half with a slip cut to the middle. Now watch this. You anticipate that Wichita State is going to come out and pressure the perimeter. What does Penny Hardaway do? Right off the bat, he sets up a little bit of a delayed backdoor cut, knowing that defensively, Wichita State has probably been told, hey, we need to get a couple of steals, get some transition. Nice adjustment by that guy on the sidelines right there.
The Memphis Tigers at 6-5 on the year, 0-1 in the American. It's been a staggered, inconsistent season, but it's been a day of dominance and new identity.
Yeah, the obvious statement right here is Wichita State, inside, outside, wherever they can, mid-range, they got to find a bucket just to slow down Memphis and also get some confidence back as a team that they can say to themselves, hey, we can execute, everybody touch the basketball, we can score.
Etienne on high.
I think you got to get a better one than that, though, John. He's struggling to get back into this game. I don't think that's going to cut it, the pull-up jumper from long range.
And something happened to Duren there. He is wincing noticeably. It slightly limped with a bit of a hop. He barked something as he got that rebound.
He'll probably end up dunking the ball. There's a little high-low action.
Duren, the jumper instead. Pure.
Yeah, he's hobbled a little bit, it looks like, holding his right hip on the way down the floor, but that's a pretty nice looking jumper for a 6'11 youngster.
And not only 6'11, listed at 250. That is man strength he is displaying inside. Ball sticking a bit for the Shockers. Etienne, deep three is good.
And that gives the crowd a little bit to make some noise on. But if you're Memphis, you can still live with that long-range shot.
Nolley, response is off. Etienne looking for the loose ball, out of bounds.
So Duren showing his skill level from shooting the basketball. I think it happened down the other end. Watch all of a sudden the right hand on the right hip. We'll see what happens.
Only about 3 hours away from Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs looking at that 1 seed in the AFC. Memphis has been overwhelming here in Wichita. Travel, though, for DeAndre Williams. When we spoke with Isaac Brown this week, just as our conversation ended, he brought up his own comparison of this Memphis team to the Kentucky squad of 2013-14.
Yeah, it was interesting for him to say that because Kentucky, if you recall, didn't dominate during the regular season conference. I think it was 12-6 in the SEC that year, but then got on a big-time roll, and I think he's looking at the talent level of Memphis. And now the question becomes whether you can continue to play like this for long periods of time.
Dexter Dennis, creative finish.
So there's one opportunity going towards the basket. I think this becomes Wichita State. Just calculate how many long shots they take versus shots going to the basket, and you'll know whether they're going to chip away on this one or not.
And of course, Shocker fans know that particular Kentucky squad well, that derailed Wichita State's undefeated run at 35-0 in the NCAA tournament.
Nice slip cut. You're going to get some slip cuts on this defense. And Minott continues to show a lot of presence in terms of when to dive to the basket.
It's a new career high for Minott. Has 13. Council step in the back.
A little bit of rhythm just then. You can see when you get a couple of buckets to go just in their legs, you can see the hop, a little better hop defensively with Wichita State right now.
Minott flips to Duren.
He shot that on the way down. You notice how he came down, never released the ball at the peak. Good time to go to the basket, especially with this matchup with Grant.
Multiple subs lie in wait for the Tigers. Deep look. Ball fired, Minott's got it. DeAndre Williams wants the ball against the undersized Grant. Duren, blocking foul. If Stan, Kyle, and Cartman could just work together, they could go back in time to make sure COVID never happened and save Kenny's life. In this South Park exclusive event, traveling back to the past seems to be the easy answer until they meet Victor Chaos. South Park, post-COVID, the return of COVID. Now streaming on Paramount+.
3 substitutions right now for Memphis. Let's see if it throws off their offense a little. Wow, he really attacks the basket well. Minott again, that time along the baseline. We've seen him slip through the middle of the floor about 3 or 4 times for easier buckets. And now he gets the shoulder. Notice where the right shoulder is. It disappears because it's in front of the defender. And when you get by him like that, Council just in no position to react, to help himself get in better position to defend.
Well, Minott, the freshman out of Boca Raton, Florida, part of the heralded recruiting class, #1 ranked in the country. Second time in 3 years that Penny Hardaway has brought the top recruiting class in the nation to Memphis, which means high level of expectation.
Sure does. And then when you come out and win 5 to start things off and you lose 4 and then you beat Alabama at #6, people start to say, well, what do we have here? Are we going to be able to blend it all together? And this afternoon, so far, so good. Long way to go, though, in this game.
Council. Minott on him.
Might be a little early, but Wichita State has to play with a little bit more pace and attack. There you go.
Dennis off, numbers for the Tigers.
Good look. Nice deflection, though, out front.
Hardaway knocks it down.
Had 4 of those threes against Tulane last outing, so gave them nice numbers with his minutes. And that was just a broken play again with the deflection in the middle of the floor. John, I'm looking into the stands a little bit. There is like limited action with people in the stands here. If you look around, it's like they're at a movie theater almost watching this game. Watch the deflection. Where does it end up? Nice little tip by Minott, too, after the deflection. Smart play for a young freshman right there. Good tip out. And Hardaway playing a little penny there, huh?
Not little penny, but little penny.
Exactly.
Chris Rock might call. And Council converts at the line. Penny Hardaway has continually put the spotlight back on himself. Yes, there were times he called out his players for not cohesively working together, but he always centers it with, that's my job.
Yep.
I'm the coach.
Takes responsibility.
Crowd wanted to travel.
Good looks. Good use of the court, both sides.
Udeze rejects on Minott.
Look at Grant taking it up.
Council to Udeze, foul.
Smart pass with Harris down there against him. 5'9" player stuck underneath the floor.
That'll be his third. Udeze really sprung to the scene in the big dance last year. Career high 22 against Drake in the NCAA tournament, and he drew 10 fouls. But this matchup with Memphis, it just feels like there's too much of everything. Size, length, athleticism.
Yeah, and before the game, you watch, with the layup line before the game, and you can tell with the size of Memphis, player by player, they just come at you. Most of them just appear like they're 6'8" and taller and play that way.
Grant misses. Dennis tracks it down. Good hustle board. Etienne's been quiet, feeds Council. No-look corner, Grant. Puts it up. Out of bounds. Wichita State ball. We'll step aside. The Tigers are rolling in Wichita. Desi and company trying to find new life. Our game summary heavily tilted to the visiting Memphis Tigers.
Look at the shooting percentages and the points in the paint. We talked about that earlier in the beginning of the broadcast. 42 points in the paint. That's a huge number. And they continue to keep focusing on it. That's what I like about it. Play it inside out.
Yes, sir. Well, Penny Hardaway's team had suffered 5 losses entering today. In the last 4, a combined 10 points, 3 by 1 possession. Today, they have overwhelmed a Wichita State team that doesn't get blown out. They haven't been blown out to this extent since they last saw Memphis last year.
Especially on this court.
Another whistle. That's going to be 4 on Dennis. Penny Hardaway still play, you think?
Probably. At a slower pace, most likely.
He told an awesome story recently when he was on a podcast about the first time that he saw Michael Jordan wearing his sneakers. It was the first set of player-specific sneaks that Michael Jordan ever wore besides his own. Nice. And how mind-blowing that was for him.
What can be mind-blowing, I think, is when Penny's team doesn't play as well as they're capable of playing, because today they have really shown a lot of consistency, and not only at the offensive end where they have the 74 points, but defensively they are really reacting well as a unit.
Jenkins drives, Udeze tied up.
Look at the collapse, 3 guys around him.
Etienne.
And what do? They end up forcing it away from the middle of the floor.
Chauncey Jenkins fiercely denied.
Watch out.
Timberlake a little off to Duren.
Sometimes guys try too much for the sensational pass instead of just throwing it right at the numbers and getting a layup out of it.
Shades of the Hardaway to Shaq.
There you go.
Days. Went to the NBA Finals.
Just enough pressure out front.
Oh, Etienne the high kiss. The first points for Wichita State in almost 5 minutes. No look, Quinones. Udeze's got it. That's how dominant it's been. A lot more threes for the Shockers since the break.
Yeah, you notice, you mentioned, John, the drought they went into 2 times this year. They've had droughts of 13 minutes against North Texas where they didn't score. Kansas State, they went 8 minutes without scoring. I guess it hits you once in a while. A lot of it has to do with shot selection, in particular poor shot selection.
Etienne, 3-ball. One of the few moments this crowd has had to cheer on this New Year's Day.
Yeah, and at this possession will be interesting to see how Memphis handles it now. Not much adversity at all in this game for them. They go right there as a better way to get to the rim.
Dennis goes right. His man and one. That'll be 4 on Timberlake.
Yeah, a smart play by Dennis. Don't pull up from the shot just then. You scored consecutive buckets as a team. If you're going to make any run whatsoever, you're still a long, long way to go. Watch the way he tucks. Timberlake is moving. You can go try to body him. Good, smart, strong move and a good decision while a guy, the guard, is defending you, backpedaling like that, continue to charge right at him.
This is the first time all game Wichita State has scored more than 6 unanswered points. They haven't had real runs. This is a NATO surge.
Yeah, no runs offensively and not many consecutive stops. They get Nolley on the right, they missed him.
Harris slithers by.
See these no shots right here. Harris first, Williams second, passing up shots, working the clock, pretty good patience. Now they have to go at 10. Next shot has to go up.
Dandridge.
Oh, it looked like he was bouncing people around.
And now the emotions flare.
Yeah, he just got hit with a tee.
Dandridge checking himself for blood.
So watch the initial bump right there. And there's a little hold and a pull down. I can see that, you know, with the secondary, after the ball is dead right here, he's been grabbed by Jackson. Jackson holds him, and then he just pushes Jackson off.
Well, the technical on Dandridge, shoving Clarence Monzie Jackson. These are the rules for flagrant 1 versus flagrant 2. Flagrant 1, avoidable, unnecessary contact. Flagrant 2, excessive, severe, or extreme contact. Would also come with an ejection.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, number one, who'd they call that first foul on? Was that an offensive foul?
I thought it was on Jackson coming down on Dandridge. Yes, it is Jackson's second. A common foul on Jackson, and then the technical foul thereafter. So we'll have 1-and-1 free throws for the common foul that was drawn by Dandridge, who was then charged with the technical foul for the 2-8 shot.
And then they'll go down the other end. And of course, he gets not only a dead ball technical, but a dead ball free throw that goes in, just to rile this crowd up a little bit more.
Now Etienne will shoot for Isaac Brown. This is a Wichita State team that entered having won 11 straight conference home games. Only Houston has an active run more dominant in league play in the American. And Penny Hardaway's club has come here and just smacked the Shockers from jump.
Yeah, the luxury of Penny's team building up that, 20-point-ish lead when this occurred. Because if this is a 10-point lead and something like that happens, the shift of the fans really become a factor. Still a long way to go in this game, but they have to make things happen in a hurry with their possessions.
Jenkins off, weak side Dandridge, the tip to Williams.
Now you sit on one if you're Memphis. Just come down and make sure you get a good shot. Penny directed traffic over there, calling a play, not to go too fast and hurry. Good look.
Dandridge denied. And he's slow to get up.
And I think Dandridge took a shot here going to the basket. He gets hit, that left arm came out for him, but then he sees the ball go out of bounds, and I think he was just takes a pretty good thump just then to the floor. But I also think he was staying down a little extra, John, because he knew the ball went out of bounds and he had some time.
Subs out here. Emotions swirling.
Changed the atmosphere a little bit in 1 minute of action.
Hard screen by Udeze, gets fed. One-on-one, DeAndre Williams. Kick, 3-ball, Jenkins no.
Just can't get anything to go.
Now, Jenkins graded out as their best shooter in their summer workouts. Really played until the last few minutes of this game.
Team that likes to play with pace now has to show you they can play at half court. Good look out to a shooter.
Air ball by Harris. Dennis playing with 4 fouls.
Nice
On
look.
the fake, Udeze fouled, and Timberlake is fouled out.
Probably not a bad foul, even though you exit with Timberlake on that one rather than giving up 2 and letting this crowd sneak back into it. It's a very good look for Dennis down deep, and the strong attempt to finish it off by Udeze.
Well, it looks like Minott comes on, Timberlake out. Hardaway returns, Harris will get a breather. 2 shots here for Morris Udeze.
He's been quiet today.
Well, Timberlake is done. He had been the primary point man. Alex Lomax hurt, an ankle injury, not playing today. Memphis has missed its last 4 shots, and here's the most aggressive pressure the Shockers have shown all game, and they beat it with ease. Wow. Udeze helped alter it.
That's a good attack, but you have to make sure you finish that.
3-ball. Rattles down Monzie Jackson. Bad pass taken away by Jenkins.
Now Memphis is not playing well. They gave it right back. Everybody up on the Memphis bench saying, slow this thing down. Don't let the crowd get into it.
On CBS, so our game reset. It is a 14-1 run by Wichita State in just 3.5 minutes.
Well, one of the key things when speaking with Penny Hardaway was making sure that his team didn't turn the basketball over. If he ever needed a good possession right now, I know the score still a big differential at 15, but the crowd has finally gotten into this. 1 or 2 more mistakes, and you never know. They're going to try this double team action again. Where's the help? You look to the middle of the floor. There it is. And now you've broken the press. Now you have to execute in half court.
Memphis has not hit a field goal in 5.5 minutes.
Not a bad time to set up a backdoor cut.
DeAndre Williams ready to check in. Hardaway picks up the pound. Quinones inline drive. Up fade. Good and 1.
Smart set, too. Took a lot of time off the clock. Quinones with a good, timely basket here. Watch the way he tucks himself in. He gets inside position, then hesitates to let leapers go by. Right here, watch, bang. You see, lets him go with the ball fake. Somehow mustaches that shot up. Terrific move when Memphis needed one, even when they were up 15 points.
4th foul on Udeze. Jackson out, Poto in. Shockers going with their largest lineup. Free throw good. And now it's Memphis returning the favor.
Yeah, I like the way they're gonna pull this back, I'm sure. Just a little token, take a little time off the clock. Don't foul in the backcourt. Just don't let the Shockers get into an easy set.
Etienne has made a habit out of big showings late in games. Jenkins from deep off, tipped by Duren. Out of bounds. A couple of subs for the Shockers. Council and Grant are back.
And those long possessions at the Wichita State end on the offensive side is a benefit for Memphis because of the clock. These possessions, John, really have to be like 7-second possessions and shorter to get a good look. Get into it fast, look for a shooter. But every time you dribble around and take time off the clock, it's just a benefit for Memphis. And this is a long possession.
Deze on the spin, off.
Especially when you don't get anything out of it.
A lot of precious seconds faded away for the Shockers.
Where a couple of years ago taking that 5-second count off the dribbler outside helps Memphis also.
Minott wins the loose ball. What a pass.
How did he get that through?
And Williams off of a teardrop. Minott has been stellar.
I've been impressed.
Council open. And Minott was late to close out. Might have altered that a bit. He has a real keen court awareness. He's able to cut despite his size and kind of ninja his way through defenses.
Very impressed, especially the way he started. Once he came off the bench early in this game, he was active offensively. Good understanding by Minott of just what he's looking to accomplish.
Jenkins kicks, Council. Free ball off, Poto gets the loose ball. Shovels to Council, altered by Minott. Out of bounds, Memphis ball.
Everything's a challenge defensively by Memphis.
Well, still to come, the Tigers will take on Tulsa. Golden Hurricanes wins over Oregon State and Rhode Island. Cincinnati with 10 wins on the year. And on the road to UCF and ECU.
Shooting percentage under 30% at 29 for Wichita State. 22% from the three-point line.
Jenkins tried to steal, deflected it. Quinones, no look. Williams able to hang and hit.
I will tell you though, John, my impression here watching Memphis play live is they have quite a bit of talent on this team. There's no question about it. And if they can figure it out in terms of the chemistry at both ends.
You think this is a team that can do damage in the tournament?
You know, it all depends on if they can get that rhythm going. Assuming that Penny can figure it out, both ends of the floor, and get these guys. Now, this is only one game. They did beat Bama recently too, but it shows signs that let's put it this way, they can be a dangerous team on any given night, as we're seeing this afternoon.
Now, obviously, a huge part of it gelling, period. Today, they're down Lomax. They're also down Bates. They've not really had everyone together for an extended stretch.
And I'm wondering whether that helped them today, not having two guys, because the other guys who come out to play, and I'll start with Minott again. Hey, two guys aren't here. I'm going to get more minutes. I think it breeds a little bit of confidence to guys who are role players coming off the bench. They know they're going to get some time, and it's worked perfectly so far this afternoon. It's been a very impressive, not quite 40 minutes of basketball, but I'll go as far to say is 34 minutes of basketball.
Duren down the lane. 46 seconds. Council coughs it up. Jenkins trying to clean it up, rejected by Duren. '22 begins with Memphis and rousing thunder that silences a normally raucous roundhouse in Wichita.
Well, a team in Wichita State that basically holds teams to 62 points on average this year.
No look behind the head pass.
That's tough. That's tough.
Council rattles it down, 5 seconds. And Memphis can dribble it out as the Tigers take down Wichita State on the road, the first road win of the year for Penny Hardaway's team. So for the former Duke All-American Jim Spanarkel and our entire CBS crew, this is John Sadak saying so long from Wichita. The final score, 82-64. Memphis takes down Wichita State. Now to Newark. It's Villanova at Seton Hall right after these messages.